Good morning. I am S.M. Sharik, PGT Physics of KV number 3 Jhansi. We will learn here in topic electrostatics. Under this topic, we will take some subtopics. First, conductors and insulators. First, I will explain what is conductor. In view of free electrons, the conductors are those in which there are plenty number of electrons, and on getting some electric field, electrons start drifting. For example, you all know that almost all metals are conductor, and for example other such as copper, iron, etc. And second is insulators, another kind of material in which free electrons are very few and they cannot move, and they are tightly bound with the nucleus, and on getting some electric field, electron cannot move. Such material are known as insulators. All you know very well the examples: rubber, glass, paper, etc. Now second thing is free charge and bound charges inside conductor. We are seeing a diagram here that it is a nucleus and this is the orbit of electron. Electrons are revolving around the nucleus. But when this slab is subjected with some electric field, then electron detach from the nucleus and now they are free to move. So now electrons are known as free charges and positive ion left behind are known as bound charges. And third is dielectric. So dielectric is a insulator or very poor electric conductor in which there is no free electron. It behaves like an insulator. Electron cannot flow in it. For example, you know paraffin, wax, porcelain, ceramic, paper, mica, and some oxides of metal, etc. And dielectric molecules are of two types: polar material and non-polar material. Polar material are those in which center of mass of positive charge distribution do not coincide with negative charge distribution, known as polar material. They have permanent dipole moment in any volume of the material. The positive charge distribution is due to positive ion. Positive means nucleus is there which is positively charged, and negative charge distribution is due to electrons. So they all negative charge distribution has a center of mass. Similarly, positive charge distribution also has center of mass. If they do not coincide, then they have some separation between them and they have permanent dipole moment in any volume. For example, here I am giving water molecule H2O. So we are seeing here H atom, another H atom. They have a center of mass at this position, and oxygen has center of mass here. So they are not coinciding. So it is a polar molecule or polar material. In the same way, HCl, H plus and Cl minus, and they have separate center of mass. They do not coincide. Next type of material is non-polar material, such as in this type of material center of mass of positive charge distribution coincide with negative charge distribution and they have no permanent dipole moment. But when they are subjected with some external electric field, they are polarized. They are polarized. How they are polarized? You can see here that suppose there is a two insulating metal plates and dielectric slab is here inside it, and it is positively charged, it is negatively charged. So there is an electric field. So due to this electric field, because they have polarization, in this way they are polarized, means negative center of mass detached from positive center of mass, and they have some separation, so they make a dipole and it has dipole moment. In another example, I can show you in this diagram that all molecule or atom has their separate dipole moment, but these dipole moment are oriented randomly, so net dipole moment is 0. But when they are subjected with some electric field, so there are two types of alignment. One is due to thermal agitation and secondly due to applying electric field. So due to this electric field, dipole want to align in direction of electric field, but thermal agitation disturb it and it does not want to align it in direction of electric field. But after some time they align in one direction, and here we are observing that negative positive and these positive negative cancelled, these positive negative cancel, and only there is charge on the surface, that is negative at this end and positive at this end. So this charge at the surface is known as induced charge. Now polarization vector. Polarization vector, or simply it is also known as polarization. It is defined as dipole moment induced per unit volume. Let sigma p is charge induced per unit area. So total charge is equal to sigma p into AL. Means charge, total charge in volume. So we know polarization is charge, total charge induced upon volume. That is sigma p AL by AL is equal to sigma p. So polarization equal to the induced charge per unit area. Thank you. I told you earlier that polarization vector or polarization is the dipole moment induced per unit volume. But in mathematical, I write total charge induced instead of total charge induced, that is total total dipole moment induced per unit volume. That is polarization vector P. So how can we find total dipole moment? I say that sigma P is the charge per unit area, and area of slab is A. So charge will be sigma Pa, and separation between charges is L. So QL, we know that dipole moment equal to Q into L. So it will be sigma P A into L, and volume of the slab is AL. So we will get here sigma P. So polarization vector we can derive that it is dipole moment per unit volume, and it is also equal to the induced charge per unit area. Now I am explaining that how electric field reduced on inserting a dielectric in any medium. Let's suppose there is a electric field applied. There are two insulating metal plates. One is positively charged due to induction, second plate will be negatively charged. Now we put a dielectric slab whose thickness is less than distance between two plates, and area is same. So due to induction now it will get, due to electric field, there is electric field, so it is polarized, and at the surface at the left end there will be negative charge, in the right surface there is positive charge, and there is a polarized electric field inside it. Let field outside is E naught, and now net electric field is E. It is reduced. It is E naught minus EP, where EP is the polarized electric field. So another term, that is dielectric constant. You learned earlier the dielectric constant, or it is also known as relative permittivity of the medium. It is the ratio of the force acting between two charges when they are placed in vacuum, and to the force acting between two charges when they are in medium. You know that F naught is equal to this. In terms of Coulomb's law, I am explaining here Fm epsilon r. So you divide F naught by Fm, you will get epsilon r upon epsilon naught. You will get epsilon r. So earlier, when we are learning the Coulomb's law, that relative permittivity or dielectric constant is ratio of the force between two charges when they are placed in vacuum at some distance to the force between two similar charges at the same distance, that is equal to dielectric constant or relative permittivity. Now in terms of electric field, we can also define dielectric constant, that is dielectric constant equal to E is equal to E naught dielectric constant K epsilon r or K equal to E naught by E, and E is equal to E naught by K. Again I am explaining that there is a electric field and a dielectric slab is introduced inside it. It is polarized. There is a polarization electric field EP, which is opposite to applied electric field. So net electric field E will be equal to this. It means electric field will reduce on introducing a dielectric in any medium. So now I will explain another concept, that is dielectric constant, in terms of electric field. Earlier we explained in terms of force between two charges. In terms of electric field, dielectric constant equal to electric field without dielectric divided by net electric field with dielectric between in a electric field. So we know that net electric field is equal to E naught by K. So K is equal to E naught by E. Thank you.